Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. What's going on?
Pleasure, brother. Nothing much, man. It's a pleasure to meet you too, finally face to face, man.
Yeah, man. I like I said, your comment it stood out. You know, the
Uh,
one that you left about a few weeks ago, being the victim of two attempted murders.
yeah,
And when I read something and it resonates with me, I usually tend to feel it here. And I
definitely,
felt your comment, and that's why I felt inclined to reach out so you to give you the floor to share your experience with the collective consciousness of humanity.
definitely,
Um,
definitely.
because I believe that you have a profound message that the world needs to hear. And I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I want to keep this to about 30 minutes or so.
Of course.
I just want to give you the floor to share what you shared with me in the comment. So without
Definitely,
further ado, I'll let you introduce yourself, and the floor is yours.
definitely, man. Well, my name is Michael Banister. Um, when I was younger and stuff, I truly didn't believe in a God. I didn't believe in none of these things. I just thought that, you coexist here and then you die and then that's it. Um, I entered the music business when I was about 16. I got signed with Warner Brother Records. They paired me with a lot of people, Mike Jones, a bunch of different names. And I had a hit song in Japan for a group called Chemistry that I wrote. It's called Shorty. And, I was in the business for about roughly a year and a half, signed with Warner Brothers. And it just felt a little off. They kept trying to pair me with managers that, I have nothing against gay people, but every single manager that they were trying to pair me with was gay or homosexual. And it was almost like, they were trying to manipulate me and put me in that world. And my father was like, it's getting weird around here. And they put me on America's Got Talent, lined me up with some kid I never met, told me that I should act like I knew this kid for years. This is supposed to be my best friend. And the show is still on YouTube. They posted it, it was about like 6 years ago. And it was just a big sabotage. They basically wanted to make singers look bad, because the whole show, America's Got Talent, is basically about acrobatic acts and stuff that, gives you an awe. So they basically used me and this kid as a pawn to just make us look like he's a little white rapper, I'm a little white singer, and we have this little boy group or something. When in reality, I never wanted to be in a boy group. I was always someone who thought I was good enough by myself. But after that, I moved back here to Bakersfield, and I got into the marijuana industry. And as of right now, I have the number one THC syrup company in California, and it's become something of, I don't know. I sit here and I think, is this really for me? Because I didn't even create the business until after my incident, after that had happened to me. And about 6 months after that incident happened, I started creating, I don't know why it came to me. I was just like, hey, man, look at all these candies in the store. Why can't I create a syrup of every single candy out there and basically have, the number one syrup company in, the world? So it got into, being marijuana. And then I just wanted to start doing it for children. And then, after 8 years of literally sitting down and just trying to realize what had happened to me, I started praying. I go, God, what are all these things happening to me for? Why am I being put out here and feeling like I'm manipulated? And I just really started giving my life to someone that I didn't even know existed. You know what I mean? So it kind of coexists in us to think that we don't believe in God, but in reality, we're always trying to push him to see if he's there. So there's always that belief in the back of our head that stays no matter what. And so about 9 years ago, I was the victim of my first attempted murder. And it was in Las Vegas. I was at a girlfriend's house, and this man had broke in. He kicked the door down first, and then he went around to the back. He didn't see anybody in the living room, so he broke the back window with a big rock. And we were in the kitchen, me and her, and I was 16 at the time. And he just walked right up to me and socked me dead in the face. And the investigator said that there was blood all over the back window, so he must have kicked my head up in the air right when I had fallen down. So all I remember about that incident is waking up in a pool of blood. I remember hearing people scream. Then I woke up in the hospital. I had to get some teeth redone, and my lips still kind of fat, and I have a scar here from it. But I never saw God. I never saw anything during that time. So for a lot of people to tell me that the second time was an out of body experience, or all the different things that they can come up with, it's just not true. Because during my second time, I was out walking. It was about 4 a.m. I was walking to 7-Eleven, and I seen all these, young kids. There was about 12 of them. They were busting out car windows, and I don't know why, but in me, I go, "What are you guys doing?" Instantly, they all turned around and started chasing me. And I tried to jump over a fence, but as soon as I jumped up on the fence, this kid hit me the side of my face with a metal baseball bat, dislocating my entire jaw. I knocked out, fell on the ground. Um, I don't remember much. I know they put cigarettes out on my neck and chest, and I woke up in the hospital. And I just remember that I went to this place, and it was so calm and so peaceful. And it was like I was a star. And you know, it's weird to explain, but oh man, it's so crazy to even talk about now. People want to call me crazy, but um, the only reason I can know that this is correct is because the things that I saw correlate with some of the things in the Bible in the book of Enoch. Now, the reason I believe a little bit more in the book of Enoch is because every single thing that he states in his book is exactly what I saw. This waiting space where us angels are supposed to go, that even though we have done things in this life that weren't as bad, there's a place set up for people like us that where we have to wait maybe 1,000 more years, but we still get to go into heaven. Now, God showed me that heaven is not yet created, but it has to be created here on earth. So the thing is that we go to this waiting space after death, and we wait and we get to watch, almost like front row in a movie. You're going to watch all the judgment day happen. You're going to watch these things go down. In this place, you won't be able to worry. All anxiety, all things of your past that you were worried about you've done, they're all going to leave you. I couldn't even worry about my wife. I couldn't worry about my children. It was as if I knew that they would be there any minute. And the only thing that correlates with that is in the Bible, it states that one day on earth is like 1,000 days in heaven. And that spoke to me because it was like when I died, there was no more such thing as time because time is irrelevant outside of the firmament. So, there's so much different things that he tells me. And some of these things I'm almost afraid to talk about because I feel like people are going to call me crazy. But another one would be
This is a
God
safe
showed me.
place. The
Yeah,
floor.
definitely, definitely. Um, he showed me that the way that Lucifer himself, if that's what you want to call him. I know a lot of people have different names for him, but the way that he can offer people here eternal life and the way that he does is they have a scientific method where they take the pineal gland where your soul resides, and they take the hippocampus where all your long-term memories reside, everything you've ever loved, everyone you've ever loved, and you switch them with a child's, therefore waking up in that child, getting to start your life over, destroying that child's pineal gland and their hippocampus. And it's hard for me to talk about those things because it's crazy to even hear, but it's literally what he showed me. And they had a scientist come out years ago. It's the only thing that I found on it. And I guess they took a rat and they took two rats and they took his pineal gland and hippocampus out and switched him with that rat. And that rat woke up as that one and did the exact same things he was doing once they switched the brains. So it blew my mind that I didn't look up that before this had happened to me. I had looked up all these things pertaining to what I had saw. So it's crazy to me that all these things align with exactly what I saw. And he's literally pointing things out to me daily that I just know are false. These politicians, every musician, they're all related. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what skin color anymore. That's why they use the skin color as a tactic, because it could be a black man in a white body. It could be a white man in a black body. They know what they're doing. They've been doing this since Babylon. They've been doing this since Egypt. And this is the original Egypt, which we all know. But, they've been taking and doing scientific studies on brains since the beginning of time. So it's kind of hard for everyone to sit here and not believe that they had already figured out a way to stay here and escape hell before judgment day. So it's crazy, but that's basically my story. And
No,
every day is a new day. I'm continuously praying, asking God for guidance. I asked him for guidance before I even entered this chat. And I'm not here for myself no more. I'm literally here to die for him. And I understand now what that means as dying in the flesh, because when you realize that there's life after life, this is just a mere nothing. You know what I mean? So I tell my wife every day, just let's love our children, let's love each other. And if you're in a relationship, anybody out there, and you go through hard times, you have to remember that the devil doesn't want you two to be together. So the moment a good thing happens, there's going to be a spiral of bad things. But these bad things that happen to you are only going to be happening because they don't want you to last. And that's why it's harder to stay in a relationship than it is to be out of one. So, I commend everybody. I hope that everybody finds God and Yahshua, and that's all I can offer. It's hard for me to say I believe fully in the Bible or a lot of these books that they put out there, but I can promise you guys everything that there are pieces that they have to leave behind, because if they were to eliminate God's word completely, he would wipe everything out. So they're just trying to manipulate as many souls as they possibly can to go with him, because they don't want to go alone. Who wants to go alone? So that's basically all I got for you. But I hope that
No,
that can help anybody out there.
I appreciate everything you just shared because I do believe misery loves company, and these
Yes, it does.
Luciferic beings that want to attach us to this materialistic world, they use this world against us, and that's what
Definitely.
humanity needed to hear. You look at how everybody has this divine. What led me to? I don't know what led me to what led you to my content, but one of the videos would actually cause me to have my awakening was vicariously through a woman who had a near-death experience, and she said something very similar to what you said in regards to I was out of my body. Well, she was pissed off that she came back to this materialistic world because
That's another thing. Yes, I was mad to come back, and to be honest, I'm still mad. I don't even know how to explain this feeling. I get stomach aches all the time, and like I have problems with people even standing behind me just because of the things that have happened to me. But I can't wait to go back, and I don't know how to explain that to people without sounding crazy. But you ain't gonna believe it. Death is gonna be so amazing, and it happens like this. So I know it scares people because of the suffering, and they see the suffering in the world, and they go, "Well, why would God allow this? Why would God allow these children to die and this and that?" Well, God didn't necessarily allow it. He gave us these gifts, and we abused them. We decided to abuse our children, and not necessarily you in a sense, but He watches this go down from the sky constantly, and when we leave, we get to watch this go down also, and it becomes a whole new perspective. And that's why I don't believe that people get sent straight to hell, because we go through so much hell here that I believe He has a second place set up so that you can recollect your thoughts and come to another agreement with understanding that there is life after this life. So I don't know. I never got to see hell. I never saw God's face. I never saw Yahshua's face, but also I didn't deserve to. You know what I mean? So there were some things that I was doing in my life that didn't correlate with what he would like. So, I understand why he did what he did, but this is something I believe that everybody is going to see, because I believe there's levels to this. Just like they say in the songs, you know what I mean? You got this level. This is our, whether you believe it or not, this is a blessing, a blessing to even be able to talk to one another, a blessing to even be able to hug a person and make love to your wife, or even be able to have a child. I'm telling you right now, these are the most amazing things that you're going to miss when you leave this place, because those aren't welcome in the next realm. The next realm has to do with so much more knowledge and so much more things that, lead you to a better place that I can't wait for. But I truly can't wait for the next step. Next step for all of us. Oh my gosh. Like, you guys are going to love it. It's just, there's nothing that can, you don't have to eat no more. And the only way I know that I was an I is because when I'm here, I kept doing it, study myself. I would look at the ground and I would see the blur of my nose. And that was the only way that I could put an aspect that I was a huge I, is because I had no nose and I had no physical body. And the moment I got scared that I might be dead, God allowed me to hear my wife talking to our daughter in her crib to calm me down. And, it was that I go, oh, okay, I believe I'm dead now, God. I accept it. And then I woke back up in my body. And that's when I got my phone. I could barely see, and I just kept hitting my phone until somebody answered. I called for help. And, that, man, it just makes me realize that there's so much more here. And then when you realize these things and see these things for yourself, you start going, oh wow, this is fake and this is fake. And I'm still trying to realize what is real and fake now that I've come back, because it's such a weird world that we live in. Even the things you touch, you want to believe they're real, but hey, they made them that shape for a reason, and they made these things resonate this way for a reason. So I'm still in this learning stage. I'm back here now, and trying to get closer to God, but I don't want to read the wrong things that manipulate my mind in the wrong way. So I try not to read any books anymore. I try to just pray every single night. I put my head to the ground to make sure that I am grounded fully. And I pray to Him, the one who created me. And that's how I speak to Him. I don't call Him God. I don't call Him, I call Him Father, but I don't call Him these names that they call Him. I just call Him the one who created me, because I want Him to know I'm talking to Him specifically.
I feel that. That's that. And going back to what you said about the entertainment industry, which is
Yeah,
controlled by these Luciferic beings, whatever you
big
want to
time.
call, where they have to control the narratives for people. They have to keep on pushing this divide and conquer strategy. They have to keep on pushing for us to look externally as
Yeah,
opposed to looking within ourselves to find our true essence, which is the one that's connected to the one infinite divine creator. That's
definitely.
what they do. And when they get mad or people get mad because of the cognitive dissonance that they've been conditioned by these people who they thought were these religious figures, they get mad when you tell them, look in yourself and you
Yeah,
will find God. Like
yeah,
not our God, completely missing that aspect, but they just don't have the courage to look within themselves, meditate, pray, whatever, to
exactly.
contact
They
with
look
God.
for other things out there, and it blows my mind too. Because when I talk about the pineal gland, people like to come at me and say, "Oh, that's devilish. You need to stay away from that." But they got to understand that God created everything, and just because we don't fully understand the scientific method behind Him, doesn't mean that these things don't reside our soul, and these parts of our brain don't go with us. And these, they've been studying these for years. They know more about us, and they've got a guy sitting at a table that has been manipulating us for years, that sits there and just comes up with manipulative ways for us to go, oh, that's what we're supposed to do. This is what we're supposed to do. Before I thought I wanted to be a singer and I thought I wanted to be a rapper and this and that. When you come to the realization that you're following other people, because even as a child, it's imitation without intentionality. And even when we watch a car go by, vroom, vroom, that we know that right when we come out of the womb, the devil knows that the first thing we hear is going to be detrimental. And he can't wait for you to pop out of that womb and have that TV on in that room that's going to be a wild channel saying some crazy things, because it don't matter what the wife is going through, because she's going through death pain and this and that. And the husband, oh my gosh, the baby's here, but that baby's just wondering who everybody is. So the devil knows these things. He knew these things from the jump. And like I try to tell people, the fallen angels were here before Jesus. They were here before the beginning of time, before God even created human beings. There was things he was creating around here just for fun, okay? But then he finally got tired of all that and said, you know what? I'm going to create someone in the image of me. I'm tired of this, all these crazy creatures I'm creating. And these, they want to say dinosaurs and all these things, but they were dragons. You know what I mean? These were things that God created. People don't want to believe in the mermaids and this and that, but these are all facts. And if you correlate the book of Enoch with the Bible and start taking out the bull crap, you'll start realizing all these things are facts that Trump, the Rockefellers, all of them, they stem all the way down to the Nephilim, all the way down to the fallen angels. And it doesn't matter what you believe, if you truly pray and do your research, which I'm not talking about Google searches, people. I'm talking about read books. I'm talking about go to these places and actually talk to these people who have been and seen. Then you'll start to understand that we're being lied to, that the Jesus that you're being shown is not Yahshua, that that's a Pope's son. And that all these people that you were supposed to be worshiping, and all these presidents, and was Abraham Lincoln even really shot? Was he even really there? Well, we won't even know because we weren't there in the first place. You know what I mean? So it's easy to lie to us and figure every 50 to 100 years, everybody's going to be dead anyways. So let's restart. And that's what they do every time. They want to say that there's no, big wipeout, no big flood. But in reality, this all happened. And people don't understand that Moses himself, these were 15 to 20 feet people. We didn't start out as little tiny people. We were huge, and then we got small. And that's how they know to mess with us, is through our food, through our toothpaste, through all these things that we use on the daily, thinking that they're helping us. Just like, the dentist. Who's going to think that the dentist is going to help you when he wants you to come back next week because he needs some more money in his pocket? So it's all a money game. It's all a control game. And that's why they created money in the first place. It's strictly for control. This piece of paper means nothing. And when you don't need it no more, they can't use you. It's just that simple.
Right. Imagine if we did were to eliminate money and how they would lose all control. And that's
Oh,
why they're already trying to move into this electronic system or
big
even
time.
talk about inputting our currency within us,
Yeah,
altering our DNA. I mean, they're already trying to alter us with, like you said, the food. They're trying to alter us with how they control us, how they control the mind through the educational system. That's where it starts. You poison the food, you control the minds, you will limit their spiritual gifts. But there are a lot of us who are incarnating here to help shift that direction that they are trying to push us,
Oh, definitely.
like who are coming back to help.
We're
Can you
back.
hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you.
There are a lot of beings that are here. It just cut off for some reason as I was talking about this, which is odd.
That happens.
But no, there are a lot of beings who are here to help age in this new age of awareness. This year 2024, that is the year that we are all starting to awaken. Things are going to surface and we are going
Oh,
to
big
see the
time.
truth and abundance, you know? That's why I don't know if you saw the Cat Williams interview. He
Oh,
exposed a
yeah.
lot of stuff about the industry, but it was intentionally set on this year because this is the year of enlightenment. Well, one of the years that ushers in this new age. So everything will be shared, all the knowledge, all the truths. And I think that's why it was meant for us to do this interview this year as well, because you shared a lot of information that I know the world needed to hear. And I know as soon as we got to this part, that's when YouTube decided to cut it off, which is very interesting, very
Yeah.
interesting, very convenient, but it's it there are powers that be that are manipulating this realm, but they won't have control over it forever. And that's
No.
why it's up to people like you, me, to keep on spreading the message,
Definitely.
contributing to the collective consciousness of humanity, helping everyone unlock themselves, and the world would be a better place once we start realizing this separation, the duality. It's we are the God universe experiencing itself in this human form, and we
Exactly.
are one. And that's what everybody who has had a near-death experience has all came back and said. Near-death experiences or psychedelic experiences, meditation, these transcendental moments all help
Well,
you
just like
realize.
that's crazy you say that because just like people don't understand is why Yahshua fasted in the first place. Because he understood that you have to get your body to that near death experience point in order to hear a message. Because the only way for you to hear a message from the other side is to be on the other side. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So people have to understand that fasting, praying, giving up these things that you thought you loved so much, you're going to resonate. You're going to lift. And I'm not talking about your body. I'm talking about the inside. You know what I mean? Your soul will resonate and get some messages and come right back down to your body. And a lot of people have to understand that, man. And man, it's that simple. You know, I don't know why they beat around the bush, but it's that simple.
They beat out around the bush because they know what's up. Like
Yeah.
we don't. Eastern philosophy and traditions practice meditation. They
Oh,
practice
yeah.
going in themselves, shedding not shedding the ego, but numbing it down to where you know how to control your ego, know how to control your
Definitely.
emotions. Western culture doesn't do the central powers that control this world don't push you to meditate because they know if they did push it, they would lose all control. The army are they are afraid of people who can truly meditate and tap into that self because they know the knowledge that they possess and what they are contributing out there to the world. And we are on this stage where it's going to be a massive shift and I can't wait. I can't wait
Yeah.
for us all to get back to the basics, get back to source. We've fallen so far in our spiritual evolution from the time. And you mentioned it earlier of how these beings still rule this realm. Like think about it. You look at the monarchy, that bloodline. Why are all our presidents? Why are all our why are all of them related? They're the ones who've been in control since the time of Babylon, and they still remain main control. The Vatican is no different. It's very
No,
interesting. Vatican controls the king and the monarchy still to this day.
big
Roman
time.
Empire dissolved. They just morphed into the Vatican, which reigns supreme all around the world. They
Yeah.
hide books like the Book of Enoch, all the 14 books that they've hidden that talk about the true nature of reality, the Watchers, the
Yeah.
Nephilim, the
Exactly.
mermaids, the daughters of man who became uh these mermaids or sirens. Like there's a reason we
Definitely.
have dragons, these serpents beings, and they want humanity. What I said, misery loves company. They want humanity to be like them. Well, in
Yeah,
that reptilian brain, that reptilian mindset where
exactly.
we don't function and evolve. That reptilian brain is in our root chakra, it's our roots. But we are evolving. We're supposed to elevate because what does Joshua point to? The heart.
Exactly.
It's through the heart. Only way to my father is through me. And he points through the heart because once you love and raise that vibration, you raise through the chakras and you get
Yes,
to the crown, and that's where God resides in you. It's a
exactly.
frequency, and that we all need to get in order to unlock heaven on earth.
Yep.
Our frequency as a collective has to change, but in order to change the world, you have to change within yourself. And
Yeah,
people don't change within themselves until they go through those near death experiences like you. They
you
have
have
these
to.
psychedelic experiences or they meditate. Those are the three things that really unlock transcendental moments within all of us, but we don't practice it or they
That's why
demonize on it.
it's so hard for people to even believe that, oh, why would God speak to you or why would God speak to him? But we have to understand that God can't just pick somebody who has not been through nothing and say, you know what you're talking about, because it doesn't work that way in a realistic world. So even God had to send himself here in human form to speak to us in our own made up language to try to get us to understand where we came from because we had lost it all. So, for people to not even understand that, I mean, come on, guys, this isn't physics. You know what I mean? It's just pretty right there in your face. So you just got to want it. Like I said, I didn't, even though I said I didn't believe in him, in the back of my mind, I was testing him. So even the people that I truly believe say, "Oh, I don't believe in God," but then they'll do Luciferian stuff. Well, you believe in something, you know what I mean? Because you wouldn't be over there doing these rituals and stuff for the devil if you didn't believe in God also. So I believe that we all have that belief. Even when we look up in the stars at night, you see that, God created this. Somebody created this because I obviously didn't. So it's really that simple, people, just believe in him. He'll believe in you.
I think everything you just said was perfect, an amazing message for the collective. And I'm not going to hold you up too much longer, but I thank you for your time and thank you for sharing what you just shared. And I knew there would be some profound wisdom that came with this conversation because of your comment that you left. I don't know what video it was left on, but I know that I took a screenshot of it where you were talking about your experience, and that's what I just had to reach out. So I'm
No,
glad you
I
answered.
man, I really appreciate you, brother. You have no idea that this was a God meeting. That he literally, our Father, kept telling me to post this. Just keep posting your message, Michael. Sometimes I felt crazy. Should I even do this? I have lost a lot of customers in this business that I'm in because some of the things that I say make them uncomfortable. And I feel like I'm supposed to speak on these things when somebody mentions something that sparks my brain about it. So, you know, um, I'm not in this for the money. I'm literally just in this to spread the message. And as far as I can get it, I thank you for your help, brother, because this isn't about me. I will be dead some other day. And as long as the message of Joshua keeps spreading and everyone knows where we go, that's all that truly matters. So as long as he gets the spotlight, that's what
I
matters.
left I left this out. This will always be out there in the ether. It's out there, and it was intentionally made to be out there for humanity. And I just want to say, you mentioned cannabis. That's your business. Cannabis is one of the things that helped me connect to source.
Oh,
And
wow. Okay.
unfortunately, because of my professional job, even though I have a prescription for it, I can't do it. And
Of
that's how
course.
I know that's one of the things that I know it's time to transition from that professional setting because
Yeah.
they are limited. It's limiting me in a way of connecting to my highest self, but I don't necessarily need cannabis to
No,
connect. It's one
no.
of the tools, but meditation, I think this was the universe's way of saying meditate more to connect to your highest self as opposed to relying on cannabis or cheat
Yes.
codes of the
Yes.
universe as I put it in my book. It's
Definitely.
cheat codes that unlock profound wisdom that some of us aren't ready to have. But if you practice meditation, that wisdom will come to you through time when you're ready
Yeah,
for it. But sometimes psychedelics or what have you, they come at about a time and they elevate your experience, but you weren't ready for that knowledge. Or
definitely,
you experience your near death experience, that was intentional. You were supposed to go through that experience to obtain this knowledge of source
definitely,
and now
definitely,
spread this knowledge of source. It's like God said, I will show man I exist through you. And you came to spread that message, and I felt that in your comment. And that's why I'm grateful we had this conversation.
definitely. I'm so grateful. You have no idea, brother. I'm glad we met, and I'm gonna need that book.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's available on Amazon or whatever platform. The link is in my bio. I it has my own messages that I've received of how I connected to source, and I'm showing others how they can connect to source.
Definitely,
And it's a great read. I'm confident you will enjoy it. And there's a lot of energy placed within it that I know you will feel, and I know everyone who reads it will feel because it's from here. It was
definitely,
made with the intention of helping humanity. And that's
definitely.
why I'm grateful that it's out there, and I'm grateful for this conversation. I'm not going to tie you up. It was amazing talking to you. I hope you continue to do what you do and keep contributing.
I always will, brother, till my ending days. And I hope to meet you someday. And if we don't, I'll see you when we get up there.
I felt that. Absolutely.